Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How is it going, everyone? On this occasion, let me, Refangga Thomas Agatis, presenting to you a study conducted by Youssouf Haidara entitled Psychological Factor Affecting English Speaking Performance for the English Learners in Indonesia. So here are the table of contents of my presentation today. The first one is background, and then we have research objectives, and then the third one is theoretical framework, and then we have research method and research finding, and the last one is conclusion. So without any further ado, let's jump to the first section. So this is the background of this study. In learning, in every learning situation or environment, human psychology plays a significant role. English speaking is a language skill that is highly affected by human psychology. So this is the background of this study. Next is research objectives. So this research aims to, to describe the psychological factor that affect negatively the English speaking performance. So next one is theoretical framework. So the researchers of this study use two theoretical framework. Namely, the first one is English as a foreign language in Indonesia, and then the second one is nature of speaking skill. Let's jump to the research method. So, research method. In this study, a descriptive qualitative research method was used. According to Creswell, qualitative research is best suited to address a research problem in which you do not know the variables and need to explore. The research purposefully selected 20 students in the applied linguistics field at the Graduate School of Yogyakarta State University to act as a research participants, and to collect the data from those 20 students mentioned before. Some classroom observations were done first, and the students were observed during their presentation of their findings in front of the class, as well as when they were interacting with each other trying to use English, which they rarely do. Those classroom observations have allowed the researcher to collect open-ended and first-hand information about the question under study. In addition to the data gained from the observations, the researcher also invited 10 out of 20 students to have interviews. The interviews were unstructured interviews. Because of some students' availability, all the 20 participants have not been interviewed. Only 10 out of 20 participants took part in the interview. The participants were asked about their difficulty in speaking English, about why they always switch the code, about why they prepare their findings and their PowerPoint in English, then present them using Bahasa Indonesia, and about why they feel insecure or worried when using English to communicate. In reference to the answer to the different queries mentioned, a great amount of data related to the psychological factor that affects the students' English speaking practices were gained. The interactive analysis technique developed by Miles and Haberman was implemented to analyze the collected data. The interactive analysis consists of three interrelated components, namely reduction of data, and then display of data, and the last one is conclusion. So we move to the next section, research finding. In reference to the result from the observation sheets and the interview, it is obvious that the students' English speaking performance is negatively affected, which was manifested by their psychology. The results also show that the students have been learning English for many years, as they have a good level in English grammar and English vocabulary, but most of them used to be speechless when using English for communicative purposes is concerned. Most of the psychological factors affecting students' English speaking performance were manifested by things such as fear of making mistakes, shyness, hesitation, and lack of confidence. And then we jump to the last section. So the conclusion of this study. Referring to the result of this research, it can be concluded that the psychological factor does negatively affect English speaking performance. Most of the problems that the students were complaining to be causes of their reluctance from speaking English were, the first one is fear of making mistake, feeling shy, and then feeling hesitant, and then lack of confidence. To overcome this problem, some suggestions were proposed by the researcher. The researcher has referred to his own experience as an, EFL learner to give those suggestions expected to be significant remedies to those students who learned English as a foreign language. According to the researcher, psychology is the #1 key to success for most EFL students in their English speaking performance. Since most of them have a good level of, English grammar and English vocabulary. Moreover, it is suggested that to overcome the shyness, fear of making mistakes, hesitation, lack of confidence while speaking English, the students encouraged to one, stop bearing in mind that the English language is difficult to understand. And then the second one is to stop worrying much about what other person see their spoken English. And the third one is stop underestimating themselves. And the last one is stop thinking much about mistakes. So I think we are at the end of my presentation. Thank you for the attention. I hope this presentation brings you any good. So goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much.